Alright guys, it's BO2 and welcome to the very first Call of Duty Black Ops 2 gameplay that I'm going to be bringing to my channel. So, hope you all sat very comfortably, hope you're all excited and eagerly anticipating what it is I've got to say. No doubt you're probably not, but anyway. Basically, first things first, I just want to apologise for not getting a commentary uploaded sooner. By now I would have liked to have had at least like 3 commentaries, the first being pretty much the commentary that you're going to be seeing right now. And that pretty much entails sort of like a first impressions of Black Ops 2 from my point of view, the stuff that I've been experiencing, sort of like the pros and cons, and what I think how I think the game will sort of play out throughout the remainder of its like gameplay longevity, if that makes sense. But pretty much, I'm just going to say it to you. I'm just going to explain what I think and just not sugarcoat anything, try my best to be as impartial as possible, give my honest opinions, and before I say anything, I just really want to just get this out into the open straight away. I really wanted this game to be a success in my eyes, and by saying that you've probably already got the tone of what it is I'm going to actually, get off my chest about this game. I really did want this to be an amazing game, and don't get me wrong, I do think that this definitely has the potential. Everything from the 10-point class selection feature to the way it plays, just in general, just the look of the game, the graphics, the customization, especially the customization and what that actually has to offer. I think is very, very good, and will definitely sort of help the longevity of the actual game itself. But there are a few things, a few negativities, a few cons which I cannot just ignore. I'm sorry guys, I cannot ignore, and as a result of that, as a consequence of that, this game falls short in my opinion of being justifiably given the accolade of the greatest Call of Duty game throughout the franchise to date, and it's a shame because one thing in particular which I will address is it'll probably take up the majority of the actual commentary, to be honest, and everything to an extent is interlinked and things, but one thing in particular, it's just, if this one thing's fixed, I mean seriously, this one thing is the pivotal aspect, which for me is just making this game so frustrating to play. And I just, like I say, I try to be impartial, but I just want this game to be a success. I want this game to be an amazing game, but this one thing I can't hide from. It's so bad. It really is bad. But anyway, before I talk about that, I'll just briefly say something about the actual gameplay that you're watching. So it's a game of Kill Confirmed, and the reason I'm playing Kill Confirmed is pretty much because, as far as I know, it's one of the best. I think Hardpoint is another example. It's sort of like a mix between, could you say, War, Drop Zone, and Headquarters. Well, either way, I know it's quite a good way of leveling up, but I've decided to opt for Kill Confirmed because, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's something like 50 points, for the actual kill, and then 100 if you pick up the tag yourself, so it really helps towards the actual score streaks, helps you get them quicker. So that's why I'm playing Kill Confirmed. It takes up the majority of the actual game mode that I do play, and in a way it helps to promote rushing, you could say, but again, that's another thing I'm going to touch upon in a minute. So yeah, Kill Confirmed gameplay on Carrier. This map in particular, it reminds me of, is it Countdown from Call of Duty 4? The one with like the hangars and the planes and stuff, but most of the point, the one with a lot of head glitches and snipers, and in a similar fashion, this follows the same trend. I'm not so keen on this map. The one thing I do enjoy about this map is the fact that it's in the open, so your air support really goes to town, as you will probably see in this gameplay itself. And the gameplay today is the highest scoring gameplay, so that's why I thought I'd bring it to you, as well as the fact that the style of play that I'd adopt in this gameplay, sort of keeping towards this area of the map that you're seeing right now. And note again, there is a spawn point to the bottom left that I'm looking at right now, so you need to be aware of that, because that gets me killed very close to, kill streaks which I'm slowly racking up. So it could have been a 60, maybe even a 70 if I was lucky. That's purely judging off how effective my air support was in this game, but oh well, I'll take like the 50 plus kill in this game. And as I was saying before, the gameplay itself, the reason I wanted to bring you this is the first point which I'm not so keen on in this game, and I can't help but think it's influenced heavily by the professional gamers that had some sort of input into the actual game's development, the MLG Pros, is this whole business with regard to head glitching. And my problem with head glitching in this game is, more so than any other any other Call of Duty game that I can recall, it seems to have taken a step backwards, and I understand that head glitching plays a very important role in Call of Duty. It's always going to be there, and it's always been there, to my knowledge anyway. And it just seems that in this game, more so than any other, they've made it much more difficult and much more prevalent. It's just everywhere. Everything... Domination, I'll link this into the domination point in a second, but domination's a better example of this. In domination, the B flag, out of every Call of Duty I can think of, the B flag in this game on pretty much every map is just suicide. It's in no man's land. There are multiple, not just one or two very strong head glitch spots. There are multiple head glitch spots and at different elevations as well, which doesn't help. So it makes getting the actual B dom just suicide, and it's just, again, it's not promoting. I know it's heavily objective based, this game, it promotes it, and I do like that aspect of it, but in terms of capturing B, the amount of times no one helps me capture a B flag, I just thought I'd point that out from the start. But in terms of head glitching, it's so difficult to kill someone who is head glitching you, and it's as if, the best way of putting it is as if whenever I'm being head glitched, the dude who kills me has like a 1 pixel size in terms of like height and width, length. Imagine a line of 1 pixels, and that's all you see. You you hardly see the head. And the weapon's clearly hidden, but from their point of view, the weapon will be above, and it's as if the bullets are coming out of the very, very tip of the forehead, and it just pisses me off because it's as if it's not promoting that rushing aggressive style, because it's much more sensible and clearly effective, as you can definitely see from this gameplay. Again, this is why I wanted to bring this, to basically play defensive and just sit and camp and get the kill streaks. And it reminds me to that fashion of Modern Warfare 2. It seems like the gameplay in Black Ops 2 so far, if you want to do well in terms of stats wise, not in terms of rushing exciting gameplay, in terms of just stats wise and getting high KDs and things like that, the most effective way to play this game, as I've noticed, is just to play defensively. And that's not something I think that Treyarch, of all people, should be advocating, but I can't help but think that the professional gaming input that it's had has, unfortunately, it's whether it's intentional or not, it's given this style of it's promoted this style of play, is what I'm getting at basically. I'm sorry, I'm stumbling on my words, but it's promoted this style of play. And in terms of consequences, as I've just said, in the actual gaming community itself, people will play more and more like this. And as I've done in previous commentaries, I'll leave a link to the relevant commentaries which I think could relate to this commentary in particular, but this has a knock-on effect, because people will learn to play like this. It conditions people to play like this. So when if you were to go back and play other Call of Duties, there's going to be more and more people playing like this, rather than Treyarch getting the thumb out the arse and pretty much, planting the seed of you need to rush more. And then if you were to go on other Call of Duties, the best example could be, for instance, Black Ops or Modern Warfare 2. People will have been conditioned, whether they know it or not, to play much more aggressively. So it would have been a positive reinforcement sort of thing. But unfortunately, I think it's going to have a knock-on effect pretty much, and a negative one of that. So that's pretty much my opinion on head glitching. I don't enjoy it. Yes, you can flank, but my problem with that is pretty much it's twofold to an extent. Firstly, UAVs. I've always been a complete and utter advocate of this notion that, in my opinion, there are pretty much two things which are very important within a first-person shooter, which if the enemy has, then your ass is against the wall pretty much. Number one is internet connection. If they have better internet connection, they're going to be able to get the bullets off first. They see everything in pretty much more real time than you do, so you're always at a disadvantage of that, and I'll get onto that in a very second. But the other thing is if the enemy knows where you are, and I'm sorry, but the fact that UAV is spammed so heavily in this game, it really does make it frustrating. The amount of times I have tried to adopt a much more aggressive style, guys, I really have. The amount of times I've managed to rush, kill a few people off, been stacking up my streaks, really exciting gameplay, and then suddenly it doesn't adopt the Black Ops like enemy UAV online type of pronunciation, but the amount of times I've been in the enemy spawn and then boom, enemy UAV called up, and I've not got Ghost because I'm not first prestiged, and majority of the time it ties into this people who got the game early as well, which does annoy me because they've already got the Ghost. And the amount of times I've died as a result of that, because the UAV is so powerful. I've said it before, a UAV for me is just equivalent to a Blackbird, because I know where the enemy is. It's that powerful, and it's so frustrating that that's happened. I've since prestiged, and now I've got ghosts, so it's less of a factor, but it's still it's very annoying, and I do think it is a massive hindrance on rushers and rushing. And again, it ties into this unintentional, you could say, way of sort of advocating this much more cautious head glitching, spawn control, spawn trap thing, which again I'm not sure if they've done, but unfortunately, guys, people at Treyarch, people who had the input, the game designers, Vonderhaar, whoever's to blame, this is the sort of community that you are slowly but surely planting the seed to condition over time, and I'm not a massive fan of that. I really not. And it sort of ties into this whole playstyle thing, because for me, I started playing Call of Duty as a much more cautious, patrolling, aggressive defensive player, you could say, and slowly over time, through Modern Warfare 3 in particular, I really did try my best to play much more aggressive after trying to adopt a much more like fluid, again aggressive, entertaining game style from watching the guys that I really do enjoy watching, like Fearcrads, iTemp, Insomulus, or big scoring gameplay like Exquisite, JNasty. Those sort of guys are the guys that I really enjoy watching for the gameplays. And it seems like even them, I think Marco J is a good example that my friend actually linked me a video of. Even their gameplays, they've had to take the foot off the gas in their gameplays, because they've known that the game style for this, you have to advocate and adopt a different sort of play style. And it's a bit frustrating, because for me that means I've had to take a step backwards and play much more cautiously. And it's just, what I'm getting at, guys, I find it a bit frustrating. And it seems like gameplays with these high kill streaks that you can achieve by getting, say for instance, 10, 15 kills and letting the kill streaks do the rest of the work. Say you get a 100 kill game, you don't necessarily need a lot of gun kills to get that. And I think by not incorporating the specialist, minus the debate on whether it was overpowered or not, I'm not getting into that, but in terms of the specialist itself, it did promote that gun on gun, you got to go out and get the gun kills yourself. And the fact that they've taken that out, it's taken a step backwards to the more, for instance, Modern Warfare 2-esque. You get the required amount of actual gun kills to get your kill streaks, and then you let your kill streaks rain on and do the rest of the damage. And I think that's, again, a bad thing in my opinion. I want to know what your guys' input is with regards to that. Another thing that I want to talk about very briefly, and I don't really feel I need to talk much more about this, is the sniping. The sniping in this game is horrific. If anything, they've made it more well, I wouldn't say as easy as Modern Warfare 2, but they've certainly not taken a step backwards on how, in my opinion, sniping should be in this game. I've always been a massive proponent of quick scoping should be completely getting rid of in the Call of Duty franchise. For me, it's been a disease which has been apparent and gone unnoticed. I really don't know why, and it shouldn't be, but it seems to have gone unnoticed throughout, and as a result, it's built up a massive cult, a massive fan base. And it's so much so, in fact, if you remember Black Ops, they actually nerfed the snipers. They had it correct. They had it to a good balance, in my opinion, but they nerfed it so much so I think that they were actually trying to appease the Infinity Ward fans, because there were a lot of people, snipers in particular, complaining that they were too difficult to use. And over time, they made them so that you could, to an extent, quickscope. Again, not as bad as Modern Warfare 2. Then came along Modern Warfare 3, snipers were arguably back to what they were in Modern Warfare 2. And in this game, they're horrific, in my opinion. They're disgusting. GIMP-like is the best way to put it, GIMP-like. So, quickscoping is back. It's bad, in my opinion. It's, like I say, I don't really want to delve too much into quickscoping in general. I don't like it. It shouldn't be in the game, full stop. That's my opinions on sniping itself. Maps, I'll talk very, very briefly about maps as well. The maps in this game, there are one or two which I do enjoy. I really do enjoy. I'm trying to think which ones the actual maps that I enjoy. Is it Raid, the sort of mansion one? It reminds me of the actual face-off map from Modern Warfare 3. I really do like that map. If anything, that map is sort of like my firing range from Black Ops, if you recall that. I really do love that map. I'm enjoying other maps as well. Plaza, I think, is quite a good map. Similarities between maps, Meltdown reminds me of Launch. What else is there? Oh, Hijacked. I can't stand Hijacked, guys. I really don't like that map. It reminds me of Wet Work from Call of Duty 4, and in a similar fashion, to an extent, it's as if Black Ops have taken leafs out of other Call of Duty's books, and it seems to have taken a leaf out of COD 4's book with the nades. The nades are very powerful, and it's in some extent forces you, not so much like the UAV spam completely forces you to use the Ghost perk. Again, it's as if they didn't listen to the criticism of Black Ops, where you shouldn't really be forced to run a perk, given how the game plays out of certain things are so sort of overpowered enough that it forces you to run something. I don't want to be forced to run something, but I'm sorry, it's as if I'm forced to run Ghost. Similarly, you sort of are forced to an extent to run Flat Jacket in this game, which is very frustrating. But Express, I like, as again I said, Hijacked, I'm not a fan of. It reminds me of Wet Work, I hated that map. Carrier, I've told you, reminds me of Countdown. A campy map, not so keen on. Aftermath, oh my days. Aftermath, I'm sorry guys, it reminds me of a mix between Downturn from Modern Warfare 3 and Hard Hat. It's like Downturn's retarded cousin, and it is horrible. Why the feck you'd be having a gunfight in downtown Los Angeles in the middle of ruins is just beyond me. But either way, I'm not a fan of that map. Again, multiple head glitching spots. Every one of these maps, guys, every one has multiple head glitching spots or camping areas. Carrier, Aftermath. Drone, I think, is too big. You spend most of your time running around catching people. I get Meltdown has a lot of head glitching spots. Overflow, horrific map in my opinion for head glitching spots. Yes, you can go down the little alleyways, but yeah, my point being, Slums. Oh my, Slums, man. If you're playing Domination on Slums, the B map is horrific for head glitching spots. It really is bad. And all these maps, guys, Standoff actually reminds me of more of a Counter-Strike or a classic Call of Duty map. Turbine, too open. Yemen, again, buildings, elevation. I'm not a fan of the best maps in Call of Duty sort of franchise throughout history. I've always been the ones which have been on more of a level plane, if that makes any sense. But a few maps I like, a few maps I'm not so keen on, but that seems to be a fashion with all Call of Duty. What are your favourite maps? What are the maps that you don't like? I'd like to know that in the comment section below if you have any opinion on that, as just anything that I will talk about. And I'm going to talk very briefly, because I'm well aware I've gone way over time in this commentary, guys, apologies, but I'm going to talk very briefly about the one thing, the main key fundamental thing, which is just I'm just going to get into it. The lag, right? The lag compensation, or whatever it is that you want to term it. I know there's going to be a few people saying, well, it's not actually called lag compensation. Either, I don't care, I'm just going to term it for ease of commentary. Lag compensation. The thing whereby you see a guy, you shoot the guy, he kills you instantly, you see the kill cam, lo and behold, to your surprise, you, the character of you, are actually shooting 45 degrees or more, again, depending on the sort of extent of the lag compensation you're sustaining at that moment in time, 45 degrees in the other direction, and he just sidesteps you. Majority of the time it's hip fires as well, hip firing, because that's become extremely prevalent. Again, it seems to have taken this Call of Duty 4 page out of Call of Duty 4. Hip firing has become much more prevalent in this game. But he just sidesteps you and just embarrasses you, and it's as if... what my problem with lag compensation, guys, is you cannot... even if you've got a UAV out and you know where the guy is, it's so bad in this game. It's the worst lag compensation. I've had lag compensation in Modern Warfare 3 and it's been horrific. This is like lag compensation times 10 on steroids. It's like lag comp on steroids, and it doesn't matter. If we have a Blackbird, he will put me down instantly. Boom, dead. There is nothing I can do, and I know I'm not the only one, but it's such a problem. It's such a problem that it is the thing right now for me, which is making this game unplayable. It really is. And if I know there's people that aren't actually getting it, which to them I'm completely jealous and I hate the faces, but everything from searching for best under search matchmaking preferences, which does naff all. I'm sorry, it does naff all. What happened with David Vonderhaar, Mr. Vonderhaar, to this Call of Duty Black Ops 2 being based purely on latency and ping, the matchmaking system? Because I'm sorry, 100 down, 5 upload with a 6, even 5 MS ping, and I'm getting lag comped. I'm yet to pull host. I pulled host twice, and that was purely because either the guys I was in a game with backed out, so it gave me host for literally, I must have had a total time of host of about 30 seconds and in 2 games. 30 seconds in 2 games. And in one of those games, I got host for the remainder sort of 10 seconds. I went on a 6 kill streak straight off the bat. And I was experiencing the joy of, wow, this is heaven. Absolute, utter bliss. And it just frustrates me because there's nothing you can do. Again, if you know where the enemy is, even if you know where the enemy is, the amount of hit markers that are required for you to kill that guy, you're completely at a disadvantage. You're completely at a disadvantage because at the end of the day, he is ahead of you in the actual spatial temporal location. His hitboxes aren't where you are seeing them on your screen in your time. And it's completely unfair, and it's just stupid. It is stupid. For me, it's the thing. Everything I've addressed in this video, I can to an extent let slide. Quick scoping's always going to be apparent. Head glitching, yes, it sucks balls, but there's ways to get around it. As I've said before, if you're rocking ghosts, maybe you can run around and flank them. If you're lucky, if you play smart, you can sort of get around it. Domination. One thing I've not talked about very briefly, which I'll talk very quickly, the sort of, again, the MLG input, this competitive game input where they switch sides. Domination, the fact that domination stops after 5 minutes, the two parts to a domination game, I don't like. It breaks the momentum of the game. And there have been a lot of people who are trying to get these extremely high scoring gameplays who would get 40, 50 kills in one part, and then suddenly the enemy team back out and you've lost the game basically, and that's frustrating. But for me, this whole lag comp thing is really bad, and it's so frustrating in fact that I just don't enjoy playing it. I don't want to play the game. I really want this game to be a fantastic game. I know there's people who think I'm a Treyarch fanboy, and I'm not. I'm being impartial, and I'm sorry. I'm just disappointed at this game right now because for me it's broken. It's fundamentally broken. If I went on Modern Warfare 2 with all the bullshit in that game, noob tubes, one-man army, commando, all that crap, at least I can fire and kill the guy. At least I stand a chance. In this game, I don't even stand a chance whatsoever, and it's frustrating as hell. And as a result, so far with coming up to like nearly 20 hours or so played, I'm currently in the first prestige. I'm not enjoying this game. I'm really not. And there's people that I've spoke to that are thinking that this game, we pretty much all agree that this game has the potential, if the lag compensation aspect is either removed or fixed. It's fixed. It needs to reward the people who have the good internet. There seems to be a running theme that people that aren't getting the good hit registration are the ones with the very good internet, and they're the ones being hindered as a result. And this is a running theme all throughout YouTube, it seems, with the commentators, and all throughout the Twitter that I'm hearing. So for me, to summarise, this game, first impressions, it's I want to say the fundamental foundation, the core mechanics of the game are excellent. Definitely think it's got the potential, but as a result of the primary problem, namely being the lag compensation, I'm not a fan of it. And I'm sorry, I'm just being honest. When it gets fixed, because it's got to get fixed, guys. They cannot have this all the time. I can't imagine it have it. The first 24 hours, this game grossed 500 million, 100 million more than Modern Warfare 3 did last year at the first 24 hours. You're telling me that you can't afford dedicated servers if that's even your excuse? I mean, guys, come off it. Stop fucking around. It needs fixing, Von der Haar. And I'm sorry, but even if I was to try, and I have tried, believe me, if you've seen my Twitter feed, I have tried to contact David Von der Haar or anyone from the Treyarch staff. He won't listen. You literally need to be either a professional gamer, a Call of Duty gamer, a channel of a size more than 100 to 150,000 subs, or pretty much in his own little clique of people like Jericho or T-Mart, in which he's sucking up to, trying to be this whole cool dad scenario. And it's lag compensation, fix it. I'm done. Thanks for watching the guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry about the little rant. I'm well aware I went over, so you'll probably have seen another gameplay on the back of this. I really want to know what your opinions are, guys. And again, sorry I've not got a commentary out sooner. Expect a commentary very soon. Hopefully a much more upbeat commentary where I talk about much more, where I talk more about the actual gameplay itself and the classes and things that I've noticed. But anyway, thanks for watching the commentary, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm out. Peace.